I was invited to the heroic realm, this dark castle. All the invitation said was, hear the strange tale of Fionn and the legend of the blood emeralds. I'm not so sure about this now. This could be a long night. Ah!
Go away! Go away!
There's nothing to fear. Just come inside.
I'm not so sure about this at all.
Hello. The story we're going to tell you is from the book Fionn and the Legend of the Blood Emeralds by Tom O'Neill.
Hi, I'm Darren Yorke, and I'm going to be reading you the parts about Dark McLean. Dark is in a terrifying race to find a cure for the mystery illness that's killing his uncle. As his courage and friends start to fail him, he crosses into the ancient realm of Fionn Micheál.
And I'm Micheál o Gruagáin. I'll take you into that heroic realm where a young man called Matha finds himself on a parallel quest. Sometimes alone, and sometimes in the company of warriors, Matha runs into bewitched cats, angry ghosts, and unhelpful herons. Travel with us, and you will soon see the meaning of the words spoken by Dark's uncle. They walk among us.
He stood and was brushing old burdocks off his jacket when he distinctly heard a creaky, "What ails you?" Dark nearly fell into the river. He looked around and could see no one, but a heron had stopped, wading in the shallower water at the far bank, and had the side of her head turned towards him. It couldn't be. He waited, but the question wasn't repeated. He thought he was finally losing his fingernail grip on reality. Everything else peculiar in his life had happened only in the darkness of night when, as the old man said, the countryside was free and other forces roamed. He would somehow have preferred, despite his diversionary request for Lan Marie or Nobledy, if his daylight normality could remain solid and intact. But he decided to answer the invisible questioner because he had little or nothing to lose. "Nothing at all," he said shakily. "But my uncle is on the ball of his back in bed after something bit him on his ankle." Only the noise of the rushing brown water came back at him. He was standing in his pit, feeling even more stupid for confusing the creaking of a willow bough for a voice. Then the bird spoke again. "Black or purple teeth marks? What sort of form is he in?" He's been better. He's been in better form," said Dark, amazed. "He lies there wasting away and groaning. Purple," he added, "from a little mouth. A big mouth, in fact. On a very little head," said the bird, still inspecting him with one side of her head and then the other. "What's going to happen to him? The Enchanted Rat? He'll be grand, as happy as Larry." "No, Connie, my uncle." "Oh, him," she said in the same flat tones, glancing for a moment at the passing trout. "He'll die." Dark said nothing. Even if she saw he was shocked, she added no softness to her tone. "The curse that was delivered to him by the little four-legged rascal was that he may die roaring." "He's not roaring," was the ridiculous thing that Dark heard himself say. "Well, he should be. That is the most excruciating of poisons. From the minute it's in your veins, you are supposed to roar. He must have a far higher tolerance for pain than is usual among your kind." "He keeps calling your name," said Dark dejectedly. "He must have thought you could help." "Does he?" she said, cocking her head suddenly. "Does he indeed?" "Yeah, Long Moira. He must have thought you'd help him. Sorry to have disturbed you." "Hold on there, bucko. I didn't say I couldn't help him. You said he'll die. That's about all you needed to say." "Did I? Of course. We'll all die," she said, gabbling like a turkey. "There's just the question of when." "So, is there some help you can give a man who is such a great admirer of yours?" Dark tried. remembering something of Moira Father's love for flattery. Admire her? Yeah, he was always talking how Long Moira is the most elegant creature ever built, lied Dark. Well, I'd gladly tell you all I know to help a fine man of such discerning tastes, she said. There's a canker on the bark of some old crab trees, an hour's walk further up this river. If they are fed to him along with black paste, he may well outlive you, me, or the enemy who put this upon him. Black paste? That's part I can't help you with, she said, a genuine note of apology in her voice. There's another party you will have to talk to about that. No lady, tried Dark. Who? What? Said the bird. You wouldn't want to let her hear you calling her Nobby. Sorry, who then? They call her the Noble Lady. Though frankly, I never saw why, said the heron huffily. Lady indeed. What kind of lady has no feathers? They say her kind never die. That of course means they are never born either. So answer me this. Does that not also conclusively prove that there is no breeding and no rearing on this fine lady? Okay, said Dark, avoiding the heron's resentful question and entirely forgetting that this gave him no more information. He was too keen to ask the other question. So, who was it that sent the rat to deliver the curse to Connie? Aha! The wrong question. Careful in all he has been. He has allowed himself to ask the wrong question, said the long bird, as if she had just won a competition. And those were the last words she spoke. Although in truth he was very little further than he had been when leaving in the morning. He had at least overturned his lies to Connie. When he got home, he went in to talk to him again. You are going to have to eat more custard, he said. From now on, I'll stuff it with those painkillers. We need you to hang in a while longer. I need just a bit more time. Connie nodded, but Dark could see the resignation on his face. He had guessed that Dark had been only trying to humour him this morning. Truly, he said. I collected the stuff from Moira Father. He took a bit of the crab tree canker from his pocket, and now I only have to get the black paste from the noble lady. Connie's eyes widened, believing him now. Dark didn't think it would be good to mention that he had completely screwed up the chance to find out from the heron who the noble lady actually was. That night, he persuaded his mam that she needed sleep, that he would get enough rest in the armchair next to Connie. As soon as she was gone, he told Connie he was heading out for the rat.
In the early hours, Matha sat upright. He plainly heard talking. It was a hoarse voice with a strange accent, and it was talking to Cormac in the next cabin. Whisht! Shh! Don't be alarmed, Tira, the voice said. Don't panic. The name is O'Blin, a humble cattleman from the Midlands. No need to wake the soldiers. I thought what I had to say to you, you might want to keep private. Matha woke Micheál, who could hear nothing. And because his own hearing was very good indeed, he reassured Matha that he was imagining things. When Micheál had gone back to sleep, Matha couldn't. He went outside quietly. He could see the guards still fully alert at the entrance. He wouldn't have expected less in Tyrach's fort. So he couldn't imagine how this O'Blin could have got past them. He went quietly to the king's hut and looked through a bad joint between two upright poles. What he saw didn't alleviate his surprise at the guard's failure to notice a stranger. There was a sturdy, very noticeable gentleman in the king's room, and he almost did look the part of a Midlands cattleman. He was short, well-fed, and dressed in grey tweed. He had particularly hairy nostrils and a sneering, hard-done-by look on his face. But a scarlet scarf peeped out over the collar of the drab over-tunic. Not exactly what you'd have expected in a real bogman. And Matha noticed a slight shuffling as the man walked up and down beside the bed, quite different than the rolling walk of the cowman he had grown up with. As his trunk was very short compared to his legs, he looked very much like he was walking on some kind of big-heeled shoes. "Your Majestic Highness," continued O'Blin. "What? Who's that raw mashing at me?" The king sat up in bed and rubbed his eyes to get the small man in focus. The creature now had the tweeds off, and his tight scarlet outfit was revealed. He had also kicked off the high shoes, complaining that they'd been hurting his toes. So now he was only at eye level with the boards the king had been sleeping on, though his stout, muscular body looked broader than that of any full-size soldier. All pretences of being a Midlander were gone. "What in the name of Morrigan are you? Who let you in here? Guards, guards!" The king started shouting. Wait, cried the stranger, putting his hands in the air. "Wait till you see what I brought you, you wonderful, famous man." The king was as fond of praise as the next person, and his voice was softer now, saying, "Well, get on with it, good fellow. What have you brought for me?" "Yes, of course," said the stranger. "I know you're a very busy man with all the affairs of your people weighing on your shoulders." "Oh, from all I've heard, may I say that you're a wonderful king, if only more kings were like you." "Stranger, I like your thinking." The king was swelling with pride. "It's rare to never that my own appreciate me. Tell me where you come from, what gift you brought, and what the humble High King of Éireann, namely my good self, can do for you." "The gift is in my hand," the stranger said, holding up a clenched fist. "What? What trick is this? What miserable gift can fit in one puny, closed fist?" The stranger opened his palm, and the king's eyes lit up at what he saw. 2 crimson stones sparkled mesmerizingly in the meagre moonlight. "I've never seen anything like those," said the king quietly. "I've seen much smaller versions, highly valued by foreign kings. Matha certainly hadn't seen the like." "Blood emeralds, most rare and precious," said the little man through his nose. "These were mined by my people in a land far, far away. Are you interested?" "Blood emeralds," explained the king in hushed awe. "I've heard whispers of them. I truly thought they only existed in legend." "Are you interested?" repeated the man. "I am," said the king, reaching out his hand. "I will have these set in a new sword handle for myself, as they must be the most beautiful stones in the world." "Well, you certainly deserve a new sword. That's the least of the luxuries you merit your godliness," sniffled the stranger. "But there are more where these came from, more that can be yours. And when you have them, you will have everything. Everything you ever wanted." The king rose from his bed of boards, with his eyes widely fixed on the ugly little creature. "Yes, because people in other places think so much of these kinds of stones," continued the visitors. "You'll be able to trade them for any lands, any steed, any wife you want, in all corners of the world." "Well, I have one wife and one woman from the fairy world, and that'll do me," said the king, wincing at the thought of adding to his complicated arrangements. He sat quietly, his face glowing. Then he said, "But still, they are very interesting things. I am very interested in them. I never thought of it before, but now I see it. Why should I not possess faraway lands with exotic fruit and colourful birds and pleasant weather?" "Yes, very smart," encouraged the wily little gent. "A wise precaution to have another place where you're welcome in case some terrible hooligans displace you here unexpectedly. With a few of these big boys in the lining of your tunic, you'll be able to buy yourself a fine lifestyle wherever you fled to. And of course, I'm only interested because it would come at no cost to my own people," mused Cormac, who, in fairness to him, had never developed the common royal habit of robbing his people. After a while of staring into space, feeling the 2 cold gems in his hands, and dreaming of what these beautiful stones could do for him, the king remembered the little presents. "Anyway, my friend, what is it that I can do for you, so that you will bring me maybe just a few more of these beauties?" Ah, nothing really, said the little man Ian, pretending to be bashful. Nothing very much. I'm nearly embarrassed to trouble you with it. What? Said the king. Well, there's a small group of my people who have set up a village here in your beautiful country, and we would now like to be allowed to do a little dealing and trading, just to keep our families fed. The king snapped out of his dreaming, and though he seemed ready to do anything, agree to anything, just so as not to have to release the stones from his palm, he played it calmly. His better senses may still have been whispering cautions to him. But what kind of people are you exactly? We're the descendants of a nobleman called G. O'Blin. Goblins, shouted the king, nearly jumping on top of the man. I've heard about your lot, and all the mischief you make across the water in Carnovi. We certainly don't want your business here in our land, thank you very much. May I politely suggest you take your jewels and go? I understand your fears, your amazingness, said the goblin, who didn't seem very worried. I meet this reaction wherever I go. It's just that those Carnovox have spread such malicious stories about us. My people are actually hard-working peace lovers, and we do wrong to nobody. Please, just do me the one small favour of keeping the gems. They are a genuine gift, and if you think better of my proposition, you can send a messenger to Tillach. If not, no offence taken. The king innocently took the gems back, and once they were in his hand again, he again became entranced with the comfortable feel of them. He did not even see the goblin backing out the door, bowing so low that his cap touched the ground and grinning to himself all the while. After watching the goblin march out unnoticed via a burrow he had dug under the deep-layered palisades, Matha went back to his hut. Now, why don't you settle into a cosy chair and let us tell you about the strange occurrences that started recently in the Kill bog. You can watch every chapter on this channel and welcome. If you enjoy it, let other people know. And if you can afford to, do treat yourself to a copy of this beautiful book.